Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and look at AI through a very specific lens, the perspective of a senior business analyst. We're going to completely filter out the hype and focus strictly on what matters: operational efficiency and revenue growth. Look, today, everybody has access to the exact same AI tools, but there's a massive, massive divide between the folks who are just playing around with them and those who are actually driving bottom line impact.
And get this, currently only 16.3% of people globally actually know how to use AI to turn tools into profitable products and efficient workflows. Everyone else, they're basically just typing basic questions into a chat box. To break into that top tier, you don't just need to memorize the names of the tools. You need the technical chops and the strategic mindset to build real, functioning systems. Think back to the 1849 gold rush. The real money wasn't actually in digging in the dirt, right? It was in leveraging the infrastructure to build targeted business tools. When 300,000 people rushed to California, the ones who built lasting wealth were companies like Levi's selling durable denim or the merchants selling the shovels. We saw the exact same pattern with the internet in 1983, and we're seeing it right now post-2022. Our goal today is simple: stop digging for gold and start building the shovels.
Okay, section 1, choosing the right AI model. Stop guessing, start deploying. So to capture that value, we really have to map the ecosystem and deploy the exact right model for our specific friction points. The contrast here is absolutely crucial. You don't use generative AI for banking fraud. You use discriminative. Discriminative models simply classify and predict. Like, is this email spam or is this login fraudulent? Generative models, on the other hand, create new data. If you need a blog post or a synthetic voice, you go generative. Matching that technology layer to your actual business problem is the key to not blowing your tech budget.
But if we're talking about the absolute frontier of operational efficiency right now, we have to talk about agentic AI. These are models that act on your behalf to completely remove human bottlenecks from a workflow. They aren't just classifying data or writing text, they're actually executing complex decisions autonomously. It's a real game changer.
Moving on to section 2, automating operations with agents. Zero-touch workflow execution. Let's look at a practical application. Picture a marketing department that is completely drowning in data, thousands of emails a day. Instead of paying an analyst to manually sift through that noise looking for opportunities, an agent autonomously connects directly to your workspace, like Gmail. You just give it a task: find all marketing and engagement emails. The AI analyzes the whole inbox without human intervention and instantly pulls actionable data, like LinkedIn metrics or founder recognition emails, straight into a dashboard. Bam! Immediate labor cost reduction.
All right, section 3, financial data and visualizations. Turning 400 pages into instant strategy. Okay, but what about the heavy lifting? If a senior analyst spends 3 entire days reading a 400-page Zomato annual report just to figure out what business segment is underperforming, well, that's lost capital. So the magic really happens in how we communicate with the AI to extract profit margins, risk factors, and cost breakdowns instantly.
You pull this off using something called structured prompting. Look, direct prompting, just asking a basic question, gives you generic garbage. Structured prompting is a strict formula that forces the AI to hand over highly focused, boardroom-ready business intelligence. You give it a specific role, clear context, a direct task, strict constraints so it doesn't hallucinate or use crazy jargon, and a precise output format. Run that 400-page Zomato report through this formula and you get an executive summary in literally seconds.
And we can take this even further with visualizations. By feeding raw spreadsheet data into a tool like Gemini, we instantly see that traditional dining is drastically underperforming compared to buffets and cafes. As a business analyst, that's a massive red flag that signals an immediate need for strategic resource reallocation. We've got to invest more heavily in our buffet and cafe partnerships.
Plus, mapping out online versus offline volume instantly dictates where our marketing spend is going to yield the highest revenue growth. The data clearly shows an overwhelming bias toward online orders. Visualizations like this, they take seconds to generate, but they drive million-dollar operational decisions.
Section 4, building products with AI, from raw data to market-ready features.
Let's pivot for a second from internal analysis to building actual customer-facing products, because that's what drives direct revenue. Using Google AI Studio, we can deploy a computer vision feature in minutes. Imagine a food tech app. A user snaps a photo of the inside of their fridge. The AI visually detects the raw ingredients: spinach, cabbage, green apples. It cross-references those items and instantly generates a custom recipe, like
green apple spinach protha. You're monetizing an everyday user experience by solving a direct problem, all using an underlying AI model you didn't even have to build from scratch. So, how do we market that app? We bring in unsupervised learning. Unlike supervised learning, where we have to label everything, unsupervised learning takes vast amounts of raw, unlabeled user data and autonomously sniffs out hidden consumer patterns. It finds behavioral clusters that human analysts would completely miss. For example, it segments out highly specific user clusters. It might find a hidden pocket of high-income, high-spend users. Great, we target them with premium product launches. Or maybe it finds a low-income but high-spend group, perfect for budget-friendly, high-frequency goods. This lets us allocate our ad budget with laser precision, drastically maximizing conversions and lowering our customer acquisition cost.
Finally, Section 5, the blueprint for AI ROI, prompt engineering is the new cost control. All right, to execute all of this at an enterprise scale, we have to understand the underlying economics because it is definitely not free. You might actually be wondering, why does a platform like ChatGPT cost millions of dollars every single day just to keep the lights on? It all boils down to one word: tokenization. Machines don't read words, they crunch numbers. When you type a prompt, your words are broken down into smaller vector numbers called tokens. For example, the word playing might be split into 2 tokens, play and ing. Every single token processed requires back-end computing power, and that computing power costs your company cold, hard cash. So here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. Prompt engineering isn't just about getting a better answer. It is a strict cost control metric. The founders of major AI companies have actually pointed out that saying please and thank you to an AI literally wastes tokens. At an enterprise scale, those polite little extra words cost millions of dollars in compute. Precision in your prompts directly reduces your operational expenses. Ultimately, knowing how to structure your data, choosing the right model, whether discriminative, generative, or agentic, and strictly managing your token costs, that is the fundamental blueprint for AI ROI. It's how you stop just playing around with AI and actually start profiting from it. So I'll leave you with this thought. When you look at your current workflows today, are you still just out there digging for gold? Or are you finally ready to start selling the shovels?